Hey everybody. How are you tonight? Can you guys see me? Happy full moon. Can you see me? Hello. Can you see me? You can see me. Yay. I see you too. Hi everybody and welcome to a beautiful full moon ceremony tonight. We have a full moon in Sagittarius, which is so exciting. We don't get them often. How many of you have sun, moon, or rising in Sagittarius? I'm very curious to know. Who is that in the group? I am a Sag moon, as some of you know, or a lot of you know. Look at that. That's great to see you guys tonight. Sag moon, Sag sun, Sag rising. Any or all of those things. If you have Sag sun, Sag moon, or Sag rising, tonight it's a meaningful moon for anybody. But you are going to feel the energy more intensely if you have Sagittarius in your chart, especially in the triplicate, in the sun, moon, or rising position, which are really, if you think about it, your sun, moon, and rising signs are the core of who you are, right? Your sun sign is, and right, we have Hannah on Team SG is a Sagittarius sun. Your sun sign is the core of who you are. So if you have a Sag sun, that's the core of who you are. If you have a Sag moon, that's your subconscious, right? That's where a lot of the spiritual work happens. And so my moon is in Sag. And then if you're Sag rising, that's how you show up in the world. That's the mask that you wear to the party. So people who don't know you well would probably think you are a Sag, right? And then your sun sign takes over and really is responsible for the bulk of your actions and interactions. So tonight, you know, the constellation Sagittarius is the archer, right? Because in Latin, that's where the name Sagittarius comes from. And so when we work with, for those of us who like to connect the goddesses to the signs, when we work with Sagittarius, we work with the goddess of you know, the crossbow, right? We work with Artemis, and who is also known as Diana. And these are the goddesses of the moon and the goddesses of the hunt. And what that represents, and there's quite a bit I want to tell you about this, so we're going to dive right in, but I want to welcome you. By the way, is anybody new? Has anybody not been to a full moon ritual with me before? I'm curious. We're going on 9 years. Can you believe it? In September, I've never missed a full moon. It will be 9 years in September that we've been doing full moon magic together online, which is pretty exciting. So good to see you, Teresa from Ohio. And if you are new, I want to welcome you because we're really happy to have you. All right. So I want to look at my notes just because I want to talk about everything and I don't want to miss any details. And again, welcome to those of you who are new tonight. We're really happy that you're here. Okay. First of all, it is a partial lunar eclipse today. I do want to speak to that. And I will tell you where we are, especially if you're in the United States. We have a global community here in our full moon rituals. We really have people join from all over the world. But if you're in the United States, you know that we are in the midst of an intense crisis around racial injustice in this country, right? And it's really, for me, that energy is so aligned to what the energy of this full moon is, because this full moon is, let's shine light into darker spaces where we've been, you know, where things have been hidden or things have been obscured or things have been sidelined. Let's shine a big bright light there and find truth. Let's find justice. Let's find integrity, right? And I think for me, everything I've seen this last week, especially the Black Lives Matter movement, is such a manifestation of that energy, of that quest for truth. And what I love about it too is Sagittarius isn't going to settle for anything less than the truth. Sagittarius is like, no, we are going to move through this. We're going to cut through this. We're going to, you know, speak the truth to that, and we're going to get to the core, the essence of the truth. So I want to say, I'm even seeing the energy of this moon manifesting in what's happening in the world. And for me, I don't know about you, but it reinforces that we're in the right place at the right time, doing the right work, and that we have to just continue and push forward and continue that effort. So thank you for being here tonight. I do want to say this is a partial lunar eclipse. So it isn't a full lunar eclipse. So it's not as intense as some of the eclipses that we've had before. So while some people are making a really big deal about it, right? And it is a big deal to have an eclipse. It's not a full eclipse. So you're not going to see the full effect of the eclipse, not the way you would with a full lunar eclipse. However, eclipses are eclipses, okay? And one of the things I want to say is they always reveal what's hidden. And so this may reveal smaller things or edges of truth. It's not going to be as jarring as some of the full lunar eclipses have been. Does that make sense? So it's a partial eclipse. It's not a full eclipse, but I wanted to make sure I shared that with you as well. I'm going to share with you some words that I read online today that I really liked. And I should have written down the person who said it. I will go back after this and put the actual quote into the event page because I thought it was so precise to describe today. So again, these are not my words, but I want to tell you that they really resonated with me. So here's the energy of tonight. The vibe is impulsive and tense. The solution is creative, patient, and empathetic. Isn't that true, right? The vibe is impulsive and tense, but the solution is creative, patient, and empathetic. And so how do we bring patience? How do we bring creativity? How do we bring empathy to what we feel naturally, energetically inclined to just go run at? Because I have a Sag moon, I'm very impulsive. It's gotten me in a lot of trouble over the course of my life. I'm much better about it now. But I've made plenty of mistakes in my life. And I think a lot of them are because I'm impulsive. But one of my dearest friends in my life, her favorite thing to say about me and my Sag moon is, the saying is ready, aim, fire. But what Sag moons do is they do ready, fire, aim. So they take action and then afterward they go, probably shouldn't have said that. Probably should have waited. Because what the Sag moon does is it acts before it has information. Have you ever done that before? Have you ever made an assumption about something or said something or done something and then 2 days later you find out something else and you're like, maybe I should have waited? Because you have to take your foot out of your mouth. So I'm sharing that with you because when you have an eclipse during a Sagittarius full moon, that is, be very careful. You could, and this is the message of this moon, you could end up saying or doing something over the next 24 hours that if you waited 24 or 48 hours from now, you might not do it the same way. So my recommendation when people have been asking me so what do I do with this full moon? Usually I'm like, oh, you go and you stretch and you expand and you explore. And it's like, you do all of that, except sit on it for a day because more will come to light around whatever it is that you're, you know what I mean? Foot, meet, mouth, right? Crystal Enriquez. I've just had too many of those moments. Again, I'm doing better. I like to think I'm evolving as a human being, so I don't have as many of those moments, but it still happens where I'm like, and then, the most important thing when that happens is just to be quick to apologize and say, I am sorry. That's the one thing I'm not hearing a lot in the world right now. I am sorry. I hear a lot of other things. I don't hear just plain old, I'm sorry. So I'll say it on behalf of a lot of people that I think should be saying it. I am sorry. Yeah, it's good medicine at this Sagittarius full moon to be accountable for the fact that sometimes that impulsivity, that rush to do or create or or something leads you to inaction, right? So anyway, that's the medicine of the night. What happens when we react versus act? What happens when we jump the gun versus waiting, collecting all of our facts and figures? Now, sometimes people will say, well, if you wait too long to act in certain situations, then you get yourself into a whole other can of worms, right? But I do think there is real validity in this concept of, and it has a Buddhist origin, the concept of a sacred pause. You'll hear that phrase a lot, right? But the sacred pause is take a minute. That sacred pause is the difference between acting and reacting. when you take a minute, when you take a breath, I'm trying to teach my kids this, because if something makes them mad, they immediately, like, it's very, because kids are very impulsive, like they're just going to run, scream about it. And it's like, just take a minute. You know what I mean? Was he really trying to hurt you? You know, is he having a bad day? Did she really mean to, you know, it's like just that little sacred pause, even if the outcome is the same, leads you to more strategic action, in my experience, and according to this moon too. Okay, so again, the Sagittarius moon is about the quest for truth, first and foremost, accuracy of what to believe. That's all Sag moon stuff. Who's being true? What's true? Where do I find truth? Are you truthful? Is that truthful? That's all of the energy of this moon, and it's about refining truth. But what we're going to work on tonight, and we're going to do a brief drum journey with Artemis tonight, with Diana. I think you'll enjoy it. I'm going to plant the seed with you now. I'm going to have you shoot 3 arrows. We've done this with the Sag new moon, but we haven't really done it with the Sag full moon before. I'm going to have you work with Diana tonight, or Artemis, whichever one you connect more with. Ironically, I connect more with Diana than Artemis. I don't know why, but I just do. Still hear me say Diana more, but they're interchangeable, right? I want you to think about what your 3 arrows are. I'm going to recommend 3 categories for you, so I want you to begin thinking about this while I'm telling you the rest of what we're talking about. The first one is an arrow of gratitude tonight. And I know that's hard, because for a lot of people right now, gratitude seems a mile away. Life is hard. Things are unfolding in difficult ways. I completely get it. But if I've learned anything over these decades, it's that everything beautiful grows from gratitude. It's like fertilizer for your dreams. And people think they have to begin by talking about what they want, but the reality is they got to start by talking about what they're thankful for. So I want you to try tonight, if you can, to shoot 1 arrow for gratitude, because the full moon is that. The full moon is her up there, and she's huge tonight, shining and saying, look at all I've given you. Look at it all, you know? And when you're like, just gimme, 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 it's like, but look what I gave you, right? So you get 3 arrows, but I would really love if one of them was a thank you for something. You know, maybe you've got your family, you know? I mean, maybe you've got your health. I hope you do. And I certainly hope you have everything else. The second arrow I want you to send out tonight is what you want to expand. Because the full moon is, again, blowing up, right? Expanding. The new moon is contracting, releasing, focusing, honing, visioning. The full moon is the opposite of that. It's the expansion, not the contraction. So the question tonight is, what do you want to expand or grow? So if this arrow could multiply whatever it is that you're focusing on tonight by 100, what would that look like? And I'm going to need you to really crystallize that vision when I drum for you. Are you guys thinking about this? Okay, so second arrow is, that's a magic arrow. Whatever it goes into, it just gets big. So really be intentional about how you work with that. Third arrow tonight, I'm going to give you 2 words, and you can work with whichever one resonates more with you. It's either for connection or compassion. I want you to think about, you know, I think we are here to learn, live, and love. I think we're here to learn how to do stuff and learn how to get better, you know what I mean, to evolve our spirit. I think we're here to love each other. And I think we're here to live and to share those gifts, whatever it is that we're evolving or creating or becoming, with other people. I think we're here to be in community, which is why the whole concept of quarantine has been very stressful energetically for people, because we are actually meant to be here and engage with each other. But I think we're also learning that we have to do that in better ways, right, in more equitable ways. So the third arrow is either for connection or compassion. But the third arrow is how you're going to share you and what you want to expand and what you want to create. How are you going to move that out into the world? So again, the first arrow, they can be the same thing. For me, they're not. For me, there's 3 separate things that I'm focusing on, but yours can be the same. You can be grateful for what you want to expand, and what you want to expand can also be the how, potentially. So you could have 1 big arrow instead of 3, which is okay, right? Yeah, so the first arrow is gratitude. What are you thankful for? No, please, just thank you. The second arrow is please. I want this thing to grow. Whether it's my family's happiness, my community's support. I want to grow equity and justice. I want to grow prosperity and wellness. I want to grow health for our planet. I want to grow a stronger and more sustainable planet, like any of those things that you want to blow up tonight. And then the third one is how you're going to bring that thing you're going to expand out into the world through connection or compassion. Does that make sense? They do all connect. I mean, I'll tell you this, whenever you're doing energy work, the more connected the intentions or the areas of focus, the stronger sort of an energy beam you're going to build or direct. It's going to be more focused. If everything is disparate, then you're spreading energy across, and it's still powerful but can be diluted. So the more synergistic your intentions can be, in my experience, the better. I love that. So Christine is using her second arrow for New Earth Paradise Ascension. Ascension will not look like ascension, right? I mean, it's ascension is messy. We're human. So ascension can look like struggle. But I do think we're headed somewhere different. And I have a lot of hope for it. I really do. I'm willing to put my heart and soul into it. That the world we're building through this time is going to be better for our children. I hold that space. So into that smoke, I want you to release anything that's too heavy for you to carry tonight. Fears, hesitations, anxieties, areas of stress or concern. Just let it go into the smoke. And release it. You can always bring those energies back later if you want them, but I invite you to let them go in this moment. Ooh. Always remember to smudge you too. And smudge your hands. Let the smoke come up through your fingers. And we smudge just to clear energy. Some of you are new, so I don't know how new you are, but if you haven't seen anybody smudge before, it's just clears the energy, cleans the slate a little bit. One thing, I'm glad, thank you for that, Saya, and thank you, Andrea, for seeing it too. Really appreciate you guys being here tonight. One thing, and a lot of astrologers agree about this, you can look at eclipse energy as being this crazy volatile thing, and you can focus on the process of it, but what it leaves behind is a clean slate. Something gets cleared up with every eclipse, individually and collectively. So I always get excited about eclipses because they really do sweep out the dirt, you know what I mean? Like they clean up the pathway. And then afterward, it's like, okay, that was challenging, but you know what? We can see clearer now. We can do better now. We know more directly where we're headed. So, always try to focus on, and I'm saying this because people really approach eclipses with such hesitation, but try to focus on what's really positive about it tonight, too. Okay, so make sure you have your 3 that you're going to be working on, and let us begin. I'm going to open our circle tonight. Ooh, and I want you to call your energy into present time. Again, just letting go of anything that isn't serving you in this moment. Just being fully present. Clearing and moving the energy through tonight. And I'm happy you're here too. Thank you for your kind words. Really appreciate it. And I'm holding space for you. I know it's a challenging time. I have my ear to the ground, you know what I mean? So just know if I'm not saying specifically to you in the feed, I see you and I know. And I'm holding the space for you right now. We are in this moment together. We really are. Okay. Just roll your shoulders back. Call your energy again into present time. It's good if you can have your palms up, your hands open on your knees. If you're laying down, just by your sides. And I want you to imagine the most beautiful white beam of light extending out of your left hand, about 4 to 6 diameters or inches in diameter. And feel that beam of light or that tube of light get warm in your hand as you begin to visualize it. You can give it a texture, helps you crystallize that vision. And I want you to imagine that beam of light extending all the way around our circle tonight, of everybody who's gathered here live and everybody who will catch us midway and watch this later. And know that it's wrapping around different countries and continents and bodies of water as we gather in all different countries around the world tonight, celebrating that same moon. And visualize that beam of light wrapping its way around clockwise until it comes back to you in your right hand. And stay with your breath as that beam of light comes back to you. And start to feel that right hand get warm too. And let that energy of that beam of light come up through your hand, up your arm to your elbow, up over your shoulder, and let it move through that central channel, your spinal column that holds all of your corporeal chakras. Let it bathe you from the top of your head or your crown chakra all the way to your root chakra at the base of your spine. And know that that white beam of light is composed of the highest collective energies in the circle. And in fact, take just a moment right now, if you wouldn't mind, just to send whatever high vibrational emotion you can connect to, whether it's love or compassion or just seeing each other, holding space for each other, unconditional love, awareness, consciousness, appreciation, strength. And know that whatever you send through the circle comes back to you energetically. And let your shoulders soften even more. Start to really be able to open that diaphragm as you breathe, just gently deepening the breath. I want to begin this invocation tonight by calling to the guides and the guardians of the direction of east. This is the air gateway. And we call upon you, guardians of that eastern gateway, tonight for clarity. We ask you to help us rise above, to see beyond, to bring spaciousness in our minds and our hearts and our spirits for peace. And we welcome you into the ceremony space. And to the guides and the guardians of the south, we call you in this evening. Energies of fire, strength, stamina, passion, and purpose. We ask you to burn through the layers of energy that aren't serving us and aren't serving this planet. Element of fire burns through so cleanly, leaves nothing in its wake. So we ask you to move through our lives with that kind of sharp intention for clarity, for spaciousness again. But spaciousness now in the south is about your body. It's about spaciousness to expand into your life and to embody your purpose. We welcome those guardians into the circle this evening. And to the guides and the guardians of the west, we welcome you in tonight for purification, for cleansing in the west, for mother energy, for maternal, again, unconditional love, healing, compassion in the west. We also call upon you for vision and intuition in the west, helping us to see clearly, guiding our steps and our words and our thoughts to be in alignment with our highest purpose. We welcome you into the ceremony space. And to the guides and guardians of the north, we thank you for your presence, your grounding, your protection, your stability. We call upon you for strength and also wisdom, ancestral wisdom, grandfather energy in the north that reminds us that we're safe and we're held. Everything's going to be okay energy in the north. The big tree energy in the north that reminds you how small you are and how held you are in this universe. We give thanks and welcome you into the ceremony space. A nice deep breath there. And with that, our circle is open. We are ready to begin. Aho, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so I'm going to turn my computer over in this direction so we can talk about tools tonight. So if you have your full moon tools, I've got my strawberry quartz bracelets on my wrist. It's one of my favorite stones because it has a little bit of hematite in it. And so it's like love and grounding all at once in one stone. It's not as intense as hematite. It's just a very like a light dusting of it, but it brings this grounding of the heart that I find really healing, almost therapeutic in a way. So I think of it as like a very tender love stone, but it has that element of protection and grounding too. So if you're wearing yours, and then you got a little chalice too. I put some sparkling water in here, and this was water that I had charged at the last new moon. And so I'm going to drink it in my chalice tonight to celebrate the expansion of my intentions from this last new moon. So you can put anything you want in here. It's only a sip or two. It's really ceremonial more than anything, so you don't have to have moon water. But maybe that inspires you the next new moon to put a bottle or two of water outside just overnight, and then you can use that water at the next full moon. And then we're working with Strawberry Moon perfume, which I know you love. Thank you for all the feedback. Isn't it yummy? It's tuberose and orange, and I mean, it's magnificent. It's one of our best full moon perfumes. We still have a few bottles of it on the website, and it kind of a lot of people were saying it reminds them of their childhood. I had there was a company when I was young called Body Bell, and they made these lip glosses, and there was one that smelled just like this. I don't remember what flavor it was, but hopefully you've been wearing it and enjoying it too, because it makes me feel young again. Now, strawberry quartz is a little different than rose quartz, Phoebe, because rose quartz doesn't have any hematite in it, so it doesn't have the same. It's sweet. It's a love stone, which is a little bit different. So just a touch at your third eye for what you know, a little bit at your wrists for what you do, and then just a touch at your ankles for where you go to cover all your energy lines. And you can also, you can use that as a perfume all the time. You don't have to only use it at the full moon. It was intended for tonight. And then I'm going to light my candle. And the invocation for tonight on your art that Gabriel created for us, isn't she such a strawberry moon goddess? Isn't she sweet? I really thought he I mean, not that he ever does anything that isn't amazing, but I thought this was out of the park. Do you guys remember Bonnie Bell too? Good, I don't feel so old. I was like, I don't know, it's super cute. I don't have one anymore, but I thought it was so fun. So this says, I indulge in the ripe fruit and I drink from the full cup. This is the invocation for tonight. Because the strawberry moon, remember, means we're celebrating the first fruits. Do you have strawberries in your garden? Mine are fruiting right now. I receive all of life's sweetness in my heart. And that's really important medicine for tonight, because no matter where you go in life and no matter how hard it gets, I think one of the most important things we can do is remember to keep that sweetness, keep that tenderness, keep that grace. I think it's always possible to keep it. I don't think you have to lose it. I think there are times and moments when life calls for something else from us, but I don't think we have to lose track of that sweetness or that grace or that kindness. Okay. So I'm going to bring you back to me now that we have all of our tools. And when we're done drumming, we will drink our libations. So if you want to take a minute and grab something that you would like to drink, then you can do that. So, Diana or Artemis, depending on whether you are talking about the Greek pantheon or the Roman pantheon. Remember that the Greeks and the Romans tended to share goddesses. They just gave them different names, right? Like Athena is Greek, but Minerva is Roman. So we're going to journey tonight with Artemis, with Diana. And I really want you to visualize that energy of, pulling back that arrow. And again, with Sagittarius, the lesson the Sagittarius has to learn in their life is don't just pull it back and shoot. You have to pull it back, and you have to be very intentional and accurate. Accuracy is the word for tonight. Don't let your arrows go before you think. And so as your arrows tonight are gratitude, expansion, and connection, or compassion, depending on how you define it, be very specific about what that is. Try to be grateful tonight for something very specific. And then try to set an intention to expand something very specific. And then try to set an intention to connect with others around it in a specific way as well. Oh, you guys are so cute. I'm so glad you're here. So find your breath. You're welcome to close your eyes. You can leave them open if you want. So we're wearing our stone for tonight if you have your bracelet. If you want to charge another stone during the ceremony. And I don't charge my stones outside at the eclipse. But if you want to hold a stone during this ceremony to amplify your intention for the work tonight, maybe quartz, just to make the energy bigger. Oh, wonderful you're drumming with me. I love that. Welcome, Lisa, Yoga Angel. It's great to see you. And when I connect with Artemis and Diana, I always imagine us running. Like I have to catch up with her. She's Sagittarius. She's got to be outdoors and moving. So I want you to imagine her now, running through a dense forest. She's got her bow and her arrow. Do you feel that energy, that full moon energy? Something in you is expanding. Let your heartbeat start to increase. Stay with your breath. And so there she is, running ahead of us. She knows the way. Follows that moon. She knows its phases, its stages, its cycles. She's calling you, she's summoning you. Catch up to her. And as you feel that energy build, I want you to bring your attention to your gratitude. What are you grateful for? What has come to you that has been a blessing to you? It could be a person, it could be an experience, maybe it's just this moment. Maybe it's a wisdom that you've gained through your experience. What is it? And as you close your eyes or with your eyes open, I want you to bring your full attention to that thing or that person, that experience. And I want you to say thank you tonight. From your whole heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are you grateful for? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Be specific. Feel it in your heart. Feel it beaming from your heart. Really sit in that gratitude. Let every cell in your body know what it feels like to be grateful. Just grateful. So good. You can create anything from here. I want you to watch Artemis now as she takes the arrows from her quiver and she sets it releases that arrow on your behalf tonight, I want you to really imagine that arrow reaching its destination. Send every bit of gratitude right now to that place, that person, that thing. Let them feel it. And as she releases that arrow, feel that connection to what you're grateful for. Feel her pick up her pace. She's always running. When I'm in journey with her, it's like, I'm out of breath. So let your heart race. We're keeping up with the moon goddess tonight. She's hunting. Thank you for being there, you guys. This next arrow is really important for you. What are you expanding? What are you growing? You birthed it at the new moon. Now you're gonna really bring it to life. I want you to crystallize it. Your eyes closed or your eyes open. What is that thing? What do you want to expand? She's running. She's after it. You better be after it too. What are you expanding? Why don't you try two things? Why don't you try expanding one thing for yourself and one thing for the collective? Let's work with this energy for the greater good tonight. She's running. You got it? Woo! Finances, motivation, justice, love. She's running. She always knows where she's going. That's the one thing with Sagittarius. They're not confused. They're impulsive. They're not confused. Crystallize that vision. What are you expanding? What does it look like? Give it a name. Give it a face. Give it a texture. Give it a number. Give it something to make it real. Individual one, okay? Ready? She's got that arrow. Watch as she pulls that bow back. And releases that arrow. Taking it up. Watching that dream, that vision, that desire expand. Greater health, greater joy, greater ease. Now the collective. What can we expand for the collective? So much. If you could make a wish for the collective tonight, what would you do? Blowing up a big balloon. Woo! Beautiful. Beautiful. Expanding justice for Black Lives Matter, right? Freedom. Financial freedom and focus. Joy. Health. Health, 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 health. Peace. Love that. Becoming nothingness and returning to the void. Wow, that's the place of creation. Growth, unity, beautiful, heart healing. Ooh. So much love to you all. Got it. You ready to release that arrow? And as she releases that arrow for the collective, focus on the destination. On the destination. See that expansion. One more arrow, you ready? This is the connection, the compassion arrow. How are you going to share it? How are you going to share it? What does connection and compassion look like for you? What do you need? What's missing in compassion and connection for you that you could fulfill? This arrow, this vision. Love that, Saya. It's beautiful. She's sending it right to the Creator. She's running. Feeling that energy building, 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 building. And releasing that arrow. Connection and compassion, how you're going to share your expansion this full moon. And for the last part of this, just for the last minute or two, I want you to focus on how you're going to feel in the space of gratitude, in this space of expansion, with the collective expanding in the way that you seek. And in this space of connection and compassion, how will you feel? And I want you to call that feeling into your body. I want you to ask your cells to open and receive it. Maybe it's peace, maybe it's joy, maybe it's kisses for Adelie. Alive, amazing, right? On purpose, on task, aligned, open heart chakra, thankful, safe, proud, integrated, right? Whole from Sarita, I love that. Love it. Weightless and love, strong, peaceful, united. Artemis, Diana, we give thanks to you tonight for leading us through the forest. It was hard to keep up with them, wasn't it? They're always running. They're the kick in the pants. They're on to the next thing. They got work to do. They're always looking. They're always accurate. They're always right. And they're in search of truth and wisdom, so the search never ends. Quest. Quest. It's the hero's journey. Do you know Joseph Campbell? Joseph Campbell's work changed my entire life. I encountered it when I was 18. My favorite professor turned me on to it when I was a freshman in community college. And it changed my life Because what I learned is everybody is a hero in their own life, on their own quest, on their own journey. And even though your quest is different than my quest, we're going to go through the same exact stages. It's called the hero's journey. You can look it up. It's really powerful. And so, and actually the Star Wars movies are based on the hero's journey. So you begin by asking big questions, and then you go on the quest to find the answers. And you stumble and you fall and you make mistakes and you find a mentor, so then you start to get better. And you go through a dark night of the soul and you discover new truths, and then you integrate those truths and become wiser. And then that journey ends because you've integrated the wisdom, and a new journey begins. And it is the human path. It's the human way. You're on the hero's journey. And so you're gonna start asking questions, and you're gonna start having to explore, and you're gonna meet people, and you're gonna stumble, but you're gonna succeed too. Then you're gonna stumble again, and you're gonna get better, and then you're gonna stumble again, right? Yeah, that's right. And then if you work with astrology, you learn what your North Node is, and then you learn what your Dharma is, like why you're here, and you start to gather these little bits and pieces of information. So it's really powerful. So if you have your little chalice, I would like for you to get yours. And we're going to take 3 sips in honor of the 3 arrows that we released tonight under this Sagittarius full moon. Yeah, you must read anything by Joseph Campbell will light you up. And also watch his video interview series with Bill Moyer. Life-changing. Watch it with your kids. It's life-changing. All right, you ready? Cheers in honor of the first arrow of gratitude. And thank you to this beautiful universe for all that it provides. Take little sips because there's not much in there. And then cheers to the second arrow, which is all about expanding the individual and the collective dream. Cheers. Exactly enough. And then cheers to the third arrow, which is about compassion and connection, and how you're going to bring those expanded dreams and the dreams of the collective, how you're going to bring those into relationship. Cheers to that. And that is that. That's sweet. So this can be a new tradition that you do. I'm going to give you these little gifts in your kits. This could be something that you do every full moon. Maybe you always you choose to do the same exercise where you send up gratitude, then you send up what you want to expand, and then you send up how you want to connect. It could be a really beautiful way for you to continue to do full moon ceremony on your own. Little bits and bobs as we go. Okay, so I'm going to unwind our circle and then talk to you about a few other things and release you on your way to enjoy the rest of this beautiful evening. I think we can go ahead and blow out our candle. Thankful again for the connection to that beautiful goddess and to Artemis and to Diana herself. Different faces, same goddess. So go ahead and return to your receptive position. Roll your shoulders back, palms up, hands open. Ooh. I want to give thanks to our spirit guides for being close to us this evening, for helping us to gather under this important full moon, for helping us to integrate the wisdom that it will bring as we release the guides and the guardians from our circle this evening. And as you release the energy of the circle from your hands, it'll go counterclockwise back around the circle. Woo. So we want to thank and release the guides and the guardians of the North. Thank you for your steady presence and patience as we work through these layers and challenges in our world. Thank you for the truth and wisdom that will come from this Sagittarius moon. Keep in mind, all eclipses begin here, but we usually see the full effects from them 6 months from now. They have kind of a cyclical bookending effect. So you'll still be seeing vestiges of the energy from tonight unfolding even into next year. So keep that in mind. I'll try to remind you to look back on that when we get there too. So we thank and we release the guides and the guardians of the North this evening from our ceremony space. And to the guides and guardians of the West, thank you for holding the space of healing, compassion, communion and connection, as well as emotional healing tonight for all of us, for our beloveds, our loved ones, our communities. Thank you for helping to move through the energies this evening and to create a space for healing. We release you with gratitude. And to the guides and guardians of the South, thank you for your strength and your courage tonight. And throughout this next lunar cycle, help us to be strong, help us to be wise, help us to direct our arrows accurately. We thank you and release you with gratitude. And to the guides and the guardians of the East, we thank you for breath and air, for space, for spaciousness to think and breathe. We thank you for consciousness and conscious awareness. Thank you for helping us to see clearly. Thank you for helping us to see things in a fair and an equitable and just way. And thank you for helping us rise above our present circumstances so that we can see accurately and also hold space and have compassion for each other. We release the guides and the guardians of the East with gratitude. Thank you all for being here tonight. I really appreciate you. We really, really do. So you may want to, since this was our stone, right, of the month for full moon, was your bracelet, you may choose to continue to wear your bracelet all the way until the next one. I've been really feeling called to do that, so you'll probably continue to see me with mine on. It is a stone that, again, magnifies love, but also brings in that very gentle grounding energy that might be really useful to you in the coming days and weeks. So thank you for being here, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad I got to drum for you a little bit. I don't always get to drum for you, and I really love it when I can. So I have a couple small things I want to tell you. Did you see this? Team SG and I collaborated to make, and we're going to do this at every full moon if you like it, this really fun free full moon worksheet. And we're going to have it on our website every month, the day before the full moon, and then we're doing one for the new moon, and we'll have that on the website the day before the new moon. And what it is, and so it's on sagegoddess.com, but it's free. So you kind of have to check out with it, but you don't have to pay for anything. It's free. So it's like a $0 purchase kind of. And what it tells you is the date and the time, what tools you might want to have. It gives you some journal questions, gives you a little bit more information about what happens. So I love to write these things called when the moon transits and a little information for you. And then it tells you about the themes and asks you some questions about how you might be able to bring those themes forward in your practice. I love to journal, and I love responding to journal questions. And so anyway, this is on sagegoddess.com. A lot of you already saw it and got it and shared in the groups that you were filling it out. But if you didn't get it yet, it's not too late. And it'd be fun for you, I think, to do it tonight. So that's up there for you, and that's just a free gift. And we're going to do it for every full moon and every new moon. So you can always, too, remind your friends, if they might enjoy that, just the day before the full moon and the day before the new moon, to go to sagegoddess.com and download that. And then, did you see this? This is the enter to win for purchases on sagegoddess.com today, and I want to show you the full moon kit for July is up. And I loved this month's goddess, but next month's goddess, she's Capricorn. Isn't she beautiful? Gabriel knocked it out of the park. The perfume is called Harness. And it's got really thick base notes and then a really high top note of bergamot. It smells kind of like leather. And it's kind of Capricorn-y. And then you get a custom-made agate knife that we had made for us in honor. It was supposed to represent the stag because it's the stag moon next month. So we thought that was beautiful. And then you get your candle. And you have the option of getting the kit with the perfume bottle or without the perfume bottle. I don't know how many we have left, but anyway. And that gorgeous goddess is on your candle too. Isn't it beautiful? So that is July, and those tools are at sagegoddess.com. So enjoy. We've been making fewer sets, and I know it's challenging because people want one and then they sell out. We've been making fewer because even though my team is fully back, We're trying to focus more on getting orders to everybody rather than making as many products. So I know everything's a little more limited than it has been in the past. We appreciate your patience. Hopefully we'll be able to produce more next month. But if you would like that, that's there. If you want to enter to win this, you have to go over to Facebook and comment on my live there from earlier today. And Alexis and Hannah will post the link for you. This is an Aqua Aura Quartz and Opalite wand for clear truth and expression. Opalite's also the stone of business success, so this would also be something of a prosperity wand. Isn't it gorgeous? That was all handmade. So good luck, enjoy. Happy, happy full moon. And you have a wonderful night too. I really, really appreciate you guys. Carrie said, finally after 10 years on my way to healthcare and my family is so happy for me. Cheers. Congratulations to you. Truly, truly. The next cycle ahead of this is a lighter cycle. We've been in this really dense cycle. We do have Mercury going retrograde in just a few days, right? So we'll experience some home communication challenges is where it's being highlighted in this next cycle. But I really can sense, and astrologically it's supported, that after this coming week, there is a little bit of an easing of the energy. But it's really culminating tonight. So give yourself some time and some space. Practice that concept I mentioned at the beginning of tonight, that sacred pause. You know what I mean? If you feel like you're in a reactive place, just take a moment. Make sure that that arrow is accurately pointed before you let it fly. Don't be too much of a Sagittarius. It was great to see you tonight, everybody. Super, super happy you were here. It was Lynn's first full moon ceremony. It was so fun to welcome those of you who are new and thank those of you who are not new. Some of you are very not new, and I'm grateful for you as well. So we'll look forward to seeing you soon, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend. And again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being there tonight. It's never the same without you. You're very necessary. I'll see you soon.